Morning.
5 months ago, we went to this Colorado Springs construction site. We followed all safety practices and were guided by members of the Carpenters Union, who have created an advocacy group called Criminal Colorado. It has filed 55 complaints with the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment about hiring and pay practices that allow subcontractors to take advantage of workers and at the same time fail to follow state and federal law.
How you guys doing? How you guys doing?
Well.
We weren't there long until we ran into the site foreman.
Are you aware that you have a subcontractor utilizing a labor broker that's paying his employees under the table?
No comment.
This construction site has a general contractor with many subcontractors who hire workers to help complete everything from construction to electrical and plumbing work. The focus of our investigation is on one of them, this man, Edgar Montoya, owner of Master Drywall.
Ricky Robledo.
This is video provided by one of Montoya's workers a few months ago. That's Montoya passing out envelopes to his workers at a job site in Denver. According to the worker, Montoya pays in both cash and check. Former employees claim Montoya pays in cash because he has misclassified them as independent contractors. This means no income, Social Security, or Medicare taxes are being withheld from their paychecks. They also aren't covered by workers' compensation and unemployment insurance, something crucial in a profession that's subject to many injuries.
¿Por quién trabaja usted?
One of Montoya's current employees, who we agreed to keep anonymous due to his fear of losing his job, says he and his co-workers were paid in cash for more than a year.
¿Cómo es que le paga Edgar Montoya a usted?
Cuando estábamos trabajando en las torres,
When we first started working at the towers, he paid us cash, but then there was a problem there. So then they started paying us in check.
Payday for these employees is usually every Friday. It's typically on site or where the sub lives, but we couldn't confirm what was exactly printed on those checks, so we showed up to see for ourselves. ¿Cómo te paguen?
Yeah, it's a check.
Over the next couple weeks, we went to 6 different construction sites where Montoya's employees work alongside a number of other subcontractors.
¿Cómo te paguen?
Chicken. Just cash. Yeah, just checks.
By check?
Do you see deductions on those checks?
I'm not sure. I honestly don't know, but
I don't know anything about that.
I don't know.
News Channel 13 tracked down Edgar Montoya to ask him directly.
Are you Edgar Montoya?
Why?
I'm a reporter with KRDO News Channel 13. Are you a labor broker? Do you think you're taking advantage of your employees?
I don't want
We
to
hear
talk to
you're
you.
not
Thank
paying-
you. Have a good day.
We hear you're not paying overtime or taxes or workers' compensation. Do you have any comment?
After Montoya refused to answer our questions, we talked to Colorado labor attorney Jim Abrams, who specializes in worker misclassification cases.
It does not appear to be in conformance with our law, which would mean it's not legal.
But as we found out, the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment, or CDLE, doesn't do surprise inspections, which gives subcontractors like Montoya plenty of notice to prepare for audits. State Representative Alec Garnett says that's the problem.
I have been bringing this to CDLE's attention for the last 3 years, and nothing's been done.
So we went to the state agency required to enforce the law.
So I should just say, we found nothing that was fraudulent or illegal.
My question for the CDLE, the investigating agency, is don't you think it would be a viable thing to do to have these unannounced audits so you can have a better eye on the ground?
I would say that I'm not clear on exactly what you would want us to look at.
If you're giving a notice to these employers, hey, we're going to be coming onto your site, they could clean up their act.
We don't do it now because we don't have the resources to do it.
But we learned the agency receives $2.6 million to investigate employment fraud.
We're at a point now where we really have to force CDLE to do their job.
And Governor Hickenlooper agrees. Change needs to happen.
It's unpatriotic, too. I mean, forget about it's against the law. Got it, right? But also, by not withholding, you're stealing from other taxpayers.
What the governor means is taxpayers aren't receiving the benefits they're owed.
On this side of eternity is one place that houses the country's worst criminals. For some, it's the last stop before they meet their maker. They've earned their way here, Their monstrous deeds on Earth buy them a ticket to Supermax. But who are they?
If your name is the something, you are probably going to be at the Florence ADX.
Their names as infamous as the prison in which they live. You wouldn't notice if you're not looking for it. Highway 67 drawing a line in the arid landscape. But behind that hill, Supermax is unmistakable. Removed from society, just like the prisoners inside it.
Layers of barbed wire surrounds the fortress, guard towers on each and every corner. Every move is watched. Security is so tight here at Supermax, media has not been allowed inside for more than 10 years, including us.
Inside, inmates call a 7 by 12-foot cell home. They're kept in this box of poured concrete 23 hours a day. A twin-sized bed, stool, table, shelf, toilet. Their shower on a timer. Their window to the outside, 4 inches wide, only looks to the sky. If an inmate tries to escape,
They can hit an emergency button and lock 1,400 doors simultaneously.
Larry Nutter used to be a psychotherapist within the prison system.
The lights are never turned off. There is a TV camera on you 24 hours a day. You sit there. That is your life. It's Groundhog Day.
Hard to believe that the people of Florence actually wanted it, didn't mind America's worst in their own backyard. In fact, they raised $160,000 to buy the land for Supermax.
It was a prison-style gold rush, a federal prison promising 1,000 jobs for those here. It didn't take long for the more than 400-cell prison to open 24 years ago, and for the darkest of criminals to arrive. The Federal Bureau of Prisons knew it needed a prison that could handle violent offenders. Thomas Silverstein, he's the reason behind Supermax. He killed 3 people behind bars, including a correctional officer, while he was in solitary confinement in Marion, Illinois. Marion itself, a replacement for Alcatraz. Silverstein and more than 400 criminals live here, men whose crimes elevate them to household names. 9/11 conspirator Zacarias Moussaoui, shoe bomber Richard Reed, Unabomber Ted Kaczynski, Boston bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, Oklahoma City bombing conspirator Terry Nichols, FBI spy Robert Hansen. Not always was it the most secure. Years ago, budget cuts left guards exposed.
I don't ever see somebody getting out of there.
Mark Andres is a registered nurse working in 17 prisons, one of them Supermax.
I never worried about my safety working with the people I did. It's impossible to freely walk around. It's literally designed so when you come out into the hallways, they all look the same.
Every hallway, every day, the same. No longer at the prison, Andres says the monotony can break a person.
The self-mutilation, the self-harm, it's extreme.
But for some, it's not all isolation. You behave, you get to know other inmates.
The leader of the black gangster disciples here, and then you'll have a guy that's a white supremacist gang here. I mean, these guys are like top dogs, right? And they play chess.
For all, though, they've lost in the game of life, removed, erased from society, surrounded by beauty, but unable to see.